In this tutorial, I'm going to show how to use the vegas-datamosh set of scripts to do various things to videos, such as Datamoshing, Datamixing, layering, rendering, scrambling, and automating. Doing datamoshing is usually a very tedious process because it requires you to use various pieces of software and click on many buttons manually waiting for them to render and so on. This set of scripts is the first in the world to allow you to do datamoshing in only one click by making a selection, clicking on a button, filling a few settings, and you're done. Everything is done automatically in the background and you only get the final result. First, I'm going to show a global presentation on how to install and use the scripts. Then feel free to seek around the chapters to watch the presentation of the scripts you're interested in. I also give a few tips at the end of the video. You might be interested in that. First, you need to open the vegas-datamosh project page. Type vegas-datamosh on Google and click on the first link to open the project page. Scroll down to the README. You'll need to download the files. Click on the release link. You'll need to open the Windows 64.zip file. The download is complete. The files must be extracted to a specific place on your computer. Open the Documents folder. Then create a folder called Vegas Script Menu with the correct capitalization. Open this folder. Drag all the files into it. Make sure that the internal folder contains avdemux, ffmpeg, and xvid folders. If these folders are not present, you have not downloaded the right file. If you're not sure that you're at the right place on your computer, you can also access the folder by opening C, Users, your username, and then Documents. Scroll down to Vegas Script Menu. We're done. First, make sure that in the options, Automatic Crossfades is disabled, as this will make working with the scripts easier. Now it's disabled. Extracting the files to the Vegas Script menu has added a few scripts to the Tools scripting menu. You can see all of them here. Some were there by default on your computer and some of them were added. Here you can see Automator, Datamix, Datamosh, and so on. For each script, there's a file with 14 added at the end and one without 14. If you're using Vegas 14 or greater, you'll need to use the something 14 files, otherwise use the ones without 14. So for example, if I'm to use Datamosh and I'm working with Vegas 17, I need to click on Datamosh 14. Also, when you're using the scripts for the first time, Vegas may prompt you to restart Vegas. In that case, just restart it and you will be good to go. First, let's do some datamoshing. Datamosh works best on video clips with a lot of movement. Here, let's see this clip. There's a lot of movement happening with the camera panning and zooming around on the carpet. Let's say I want to datamosh this clip. First, I need to set a selection for the datamoshing script. I need to set a start point by setting the cursor at the right position and pressing I on my keyboard, then set the end of the selection by putting the cursor at the right place and pressing O. The start of the selection must be at a place where there's a lot of movement happening at the frame level. Let's put the cursor on the part of the video where there's a lot of movement. Probably around here. Let's seek around the frames by pressing the arrow buttons on your keyboard. That looks pretty good. There's a lot of movement happening on the entirety of the video because the camera is moving around. So let's set the start of the selection to this frame by pressing I. Now let's set the end of the selection to the end of the clip by pressing O. The selection is set, as you can see, with the little small yellow arrows. Now let's datamosh this clip with one click. Go to Tools, Scripting, then click on Datamosh, either 14 or the normal one, depending on your Vegas version, as said in the introduction. Here I'm using Vegas 17, so I'm using Datamosh 14. This will open a small dialog window with settings you can set. By default, frame count is set to 1 and frame repeat is empty. We'll see what these options do later. Let's keep the frame count to 1 for now and set the frame repeat to 30. The script renders some stuff, then there's a progress happening in the background. Then it adds a new clip to the timeline. Let's watch the clip.
Squalala! Nous sommes partis!
It worked. Let's watch it slower. First, the start of the clip plays. Then, at the start of the selection, the script repeats the same frame of movement 30 times, creating a nice glitchy effect. Then, the end of the clip plays, keeping the previous artifacts. Let's try tweaking the settings to get different results, keeping the same selection. Let's reduce the frame repeats to 15. The frame repeats is the number of times that you repeat the movement of the frames you want to repeat. Let's watch it.
Squalala! Nous sommes partis!
Then let's watch it slowly. The start of the clip repeats 15 times and then goes on with the rest of the clip. Pretty good, done with only a single click. Now let's increase the frame count setting. Let's set it to, say, 4 and set the frame repeats to 20. This will repeat the movement of the first 4 frames of the selection 20 times. Let's watch it fast first.
Squalala!
Now let's watch it slowly. That was the Datamosh script. A few tips. Try using it on a video with a lot of movement happening all over on the video, not only in a specific part of the video. Make sure to set the start of the selection to a frame where there's a lot of movement between the frame and the next one. For example, if I had set the beginning to here, we would not have seen a lot of movement and glitching apart from the arms of this guy. To go faster, you don't need to put the mouse on the different buttons. You just need to type the frame repeat and then press enter to submit your selection. Let's do some data mixing. Let's select a video clip. The purpose of the Datamix clip is to apply the movement of a clip to the image of another clip. Here, I'm going to apply the video of someone eating a banana to the image of someone doing an ad for a product. Add the video clip of the image you want to Datamix. Then, right after, add the video clip of the movement. Then we'll make a selection of what we want to Datamix. Put the start of the selection to the place where the movement starts happening. The cursor needs to be precisely at the end of the image you want to Datamix and at the beginning of the movement you want to add. This looks okay. Let's press I to set the start of the selection. Then let's press O to set the end of the selection. Let's start the script. Tools, scripting, Datamix, either 14 if you're using Vegas 14 or greater, or the other one if you're using 13 or lower. Here I'm using Vegas 17, so let's use Datamix 14. Wait for it to render everything. Then there will be some background processing. You'll need to wait until the mouse cursor does not have the loading stuff. Wait a bit. Done. A new script was added. Let's watch it together.
De ce produit vraiment révolutionnaire.
First let's watch it a bit slowly. First we have the first clip, then the movement of the second clip is applied to the end of the first clip, creating a nice glitchy effect, usually called datamoshing. I call this Datamix to make the difference between this effect and the previous one, which both relate to Datamoshing, but are not actually the same thing. Now we can see on this video that the position of the banana does not correspond to the position of the mouth of the guy. So, something you can do to have better results with Datamixing is panning and zooming the video clip to position it correctly corresponding to the previous clip. So here, I like to set the position of the mouth of this guy to the same place of the mouth of this guy. So what I can do for that is put one clip on another one, reduce its opacity to watch both at the same time, and then moving one clip to make sure both mouths are at the same place and also the face are of the same width, and so on. That looks pretty good. Let's put it back to where it was and increase its opacity back to full. Now let's do the effect again. Start with I, end with O, and let's start the script. Let's watch it.
Révolutionnaire.
Pretty good. I recommend to use very smooth video clips for the movement clips, such as video taken at the very high frame rate, then stretched, so that they are very smooth. Here, the banana video was quite smooth, so it worked quite well. That's why you see in a lot of good datamoshing videos online, very slow clips. That's how you get the best results. Now let's talk about the layer script. The layer script lets you do a very well-known technique in YouTube poops and other glitch art videos. First, you'll need to select a video clip with a lot of transparency in it. Here I've used the chroma key here to take out the background. Then let's make it move around the screen over time. I'm setting a few keyframes, a few position keyframes. Now it looks like this. Okay. A cool effect you can do manually is put this clip over and over again, each time offsetting it by one frame. And it looks pretty cool. What this effect does is automate this for you. Let's select this clip, go to Tools, Scripting, Layer, and select how many times we want the clip to be copied over. Here we'll select 20. And by how many frames we want each clip to be offset. Here let's select 1 frame. Let's not render it for now so we can see what it does. Press OK. The script created copies of this clip, each offset by 1 frame. Let's see how it looks. Pretty good. You can also set a negative value for the layering offset to get different results. Here I'm going to set -1. You can see the older scripts are placed on top of the new scripts. It gives a slightly different effect. Let's watch it now. Okay. Usually having a lot of clips makes your computer lag a lot. The layering script offers you the possibility to first layer all of these frames and then render them internally, and then automatically replacing your script with a new layered and offset clips. Let's do it now. Tools, Scripting, Layer, a small layering offset, and then we'll ask it to render. You can either click or press space. Then press Enter to start the process. It puts all of these layers, then renders it, and then you're only left with a single clip. Everything done automatically. And then your computer won't freeze anymore, because it's only a single video clip. Now let's talk about the render script. When you do very complex video edits, you can have a lot of clips at the same time, which can make the computer lag a bit. So usually what you can do is render this part, Then delete all of the clips and replace them with a single video clip, which will make Vegas a lot faster. Let's clip this clip of a woman holding a ball.
Il s'agit tout simplement.
So here, for example, I have a lot of video clips. Usually this can be pretty more complex with hundreds of video clips. And this makes my computer lag too much. So I'm going to render it to a file so that I only have a single clip and then Vegas works a bit faster. So first, let me make a selection. As always, to make a selection, set your cursor to the right position in the timeline, press I, then set the end by putting your cursor and pressing O on your keyboard. The selection is set as shown by these arrows. Go to Tools, Scripting, Render. You're going to get a single video file.
Il s'agit tout simplement.
Render together in here in a single button click. You can then delete any of the remaining files. Scramble clips, either video or audio. Select them all by holding Ctrl down and clicking on all the scripts you want to select. Here I'm going to select both the video and the audio as I want to scramble them both. Then go to Tools, Scripting, Scramble. Select a scramble size. We'll set it to 1 for now and we'll increase it later to understand what's going on. Press Enter to submit your selection. The effect simply takes all of the clips, cuts them into 1 frame long pieces, and then moves them around randomly. If we were to increase the scramble size, we would get longer pieces. Let's set it to 3, for instance. Now let's talk about the automator script. The automator script can automatically add generated keyframes of every effect you add to a video script. Let's take this script.
Du coup, il n'y a plus de crèche, de primaire, de collège.
Let's click on Effects to add a lot of video effects to this clip, such as a mirror. Only OFX video effects will work with this script. So click on this folder to make sure we only use OFX video effects. Here I'm going to add some mirrors, some pixelate, radial blur, spherize, anything really is fine. You can add a lot of these effects and you'll see that by default there are no dynamic movements in the effects. You can usually change the setting of the effects by moving here, and if you want to automate it you have to add keyframes by hand. This can be pretty tedious, so what this script can do is create keyframe for us. Select the video clip, then go to Tools, Scripting, Automator. The automator script will prompt you for each setting of each effect you have added, whether you want to randomize it. Yes, we want to randomize the angle. Let's press Enter. We want to randomize the center of the mirror. Yes, press Enter. We don't want to randomize the background, so let's press Space to disable it, then press Enter. There are a lot of effects. Usually I can just go through them all by pressing Enter many times until we're done. Done. Then the script has created a lot of random keyframes to all the settings of all the effects we have selected, creating a nice funny video. Let's watch it.
Du coup, il n'y a plus de crèche, de primaire, de collège. Et on va créer un cycle de 3 ans.
You can see that it's very randomized and changes each frame, so it can be pretty good for specific kinds of videos. The more effects you add, the longer it takes, and if you add too many effects, your Vegas could freeze. To help that, I recommend you use the render effect once you're done using it. Make a selection, either by pressing I and O or simply dragging the cursor around. You can see that the yellow arrows show the selection. Then go to Tools, Scripting, Render to render the script. This will create a new script in place of the old one. Delete the old one to show the new one.
Du coup, il n'y a plus de...
This can go pretty fast because this is now pre-rendered.
Du coup, il n'y a plus de crèche, de primaire, de collège.
To make working with these scripts easier, you can add them to this toolbar so that you can access them with only one click. Let's do it now. Go to Options, Customize Toolbar. Then you can move scripts from the left panel to the right panel by clicking on them and clicking on Add. Here I'm going to add all the scripts I usually use. Done. Then I can access them with only one click. For example, if I wanted to scramble this script, then in a single click, I can select this clip, click on Scramble, That's it. 1, enter, done. Much faster indeed. Sometimes when you open a script, this error will show up. This means the script has failed, but it's actually due to a temporary error in Vegas. To fix it, simply press OK, save your file, close it and open it again, and then you'll be able to start the script. It's due to a bug in Vegas, and if you restart Vegas, it will work again. If you have any issues, please contact me on Discord using the ID on screen. Make sure to read the README first, as it is quite detailed. If you like this script, don't hesitate to send me a message about it. Otherwise, share it with everyone you think it will be useful to. Thanks!